Hi everyone, and welcome back to my vlog. So in July I promised you some really cool collabs, but I also wanted to start a new series on what it's like to become a writer. Now I want to show you guys what you can know about trying to sell your books, about trying to put your work out there, and also getting your work done. So I wanted to dispel some myths for you today, and the first time this happened to me, it was probably about 2013, and I had two friends who didn't even know each other. Like, I've never introduced them to each other. One I knew through work, the other one I knew through school, and you know, they both told me at separate times, one in 2012, the other in 2015, that if I had a more beautiful space, I'd be inspired to write. And it was mostly because my house is messy, and they told me, like, if my house was cleaner, I would be in a better space to write. Now, you gotta remember, a lot of brilliant minds did have cluttered desks, and it's not just the fact of being clean, that's like a whole different video, but also the fact that I would be inspired to write. First off, you're never inspired to write. It's like your workout. You're like, okay, I've got to go. I don't feel like going to the gym, but you do, right? And you feel better when you do. Writing is no different. So if you think that you need a beautiful space, and don't get me wrong, one day I would like to have an office where I have a nice desk and a nice comfortable chair instead of sitting with you guys on this big red couch and working from a TV tray. But for now, that's what's working for me. And I have wrote 3 books off a TV tray or the laptop in my lap. You have to be able to write whenever, because your ideas will come and go, and you've got to capture them while you can. So don't stop yourself by saying, I'm not inspired, or I'm not at a place where I'm going to be inspired. You're never going to start if you have that mentality. So if you think that you need to go to a cafe where it's lush and green and overlooking the ocean, okay, there will be times where that will be helpful. But it's few and far between, because yes, it's good to talk to people. Yes, it's good to see some beautiful scenery. Yes, it's good to change your environment. But that can be procrastination if you don't move forward in your work every day. Now, why is it important to move away from beautiful spaces? And yes, get away from beautiful spaces. You have to get away from that because you have to build conflict. Your story, if it doesn't have a hero and a villain, if it doesn't have some hurt or pain or overcoming something or some sort of cliffhanger, I mean, it has to have some form of conflict or contrast to keep those pages turning. And if you don't build that in your pages, you don't have a story. Now, for those of you who work with me and creating content for your business, and I help you tell stories for your business, creating conflict is very different because you don't have the same hero and villain in your business stories. You have to build contrast another way. And I definitely work with people a lot, and I cover this in my new digital storytelling course, and I'll leave a link in the description below. But pretty much, you have to work on building that conflict. If you are working from this beautiful beachside view, lush cafe across the world, or maybe I live in California, so those kind of cafes are very easy to find out here. But are you really going to be able to write that mystery murder scene or that crime scene? If you're writing a crime novel, are you going to be able to slowly unravel that crime and get inside someone's twisted head that way? Are you going to be able to write something just horrific that happens to your character, or some internal struggle that they have to work on? No, I mean, it's very difficult. So what I suggest you do is do what Roald Dahl did. He made it a point to show up to his desk every single day, no matter what. So you got to show up to your TV tray or to your kitchen table, or maybe you do have a desk in your house, or maybe it's just in your lap. I wrote I know I say that I have 3 novels, but they're not number 1, 2, and 3. They're actually number 6, 7, and 8. I have 5 more that I did before then, and I wrote them as a kid. I found one of them recently. I'll probably read it on another YouTube video, so subscribe for that. But every year when I was a kid, I would take my little notebooks outside and write under the orange tree at my grandma's house. And it wasn't because I was looking for scenery. Honestly, I had 10 other cousins that were in the house at the same time, plus my grandma and aunts and uncles, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get away from these people, and that's why I would hide, and that was my escape. So that's what I want you guys to think about now. And it's you don't let your environment be an excuse. Now, I will be going out of town and writing from New Orleans next week, and I want to talk about writing on location. Now, this is a little different, and I want to tell you why, and I want to show you why. So stay tuned for that next week, and as always, keep creating. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next vlog. And if being a writer or publishing your book is something you've always been interested in and you just want to know more about it, then let me save you 7 years of that heartache and that the rough rejections and everything I've gone through, and let me help you know what it takes to really be published in the traditional way as I go through it. So let's go through it together. I will see you guys in my next vlog, and as always, keep creating and subscribe. Bye!